Hello everybody and welcome back to Bear Family Farms. I am JT Bear and we are hanging out in the chicken coop today. Today makes 8 weeks that these chickens have been with us. Yes, Betty's looking at me like, what? 8 weeks. So right about here I'm going to insert a clip of what they looked like when they got here 2 months ago, and then we'll get right back to it. And these three saw the compost pile of leaves and just kind of stayed straight for it. So we got 2 browns and 2 whites. The other white is inside. Some pretty amazing combs on those whites. Flopped over sort of things. These browns are looking pretty standard, and this lady here seems to be the healthiest looking of all the hens. But I think in this particular environment, these ladies are going to be looking good in no time. Well, that's quite a look for our little rescued hens, and I mean, they didn't look great, you know, it's the best way to put it. And I've watched a lot of chicken videos here on YouTube. Oh, what a surprise. And I've seen chickens from all over the spectrum there, of looking like they probably should just be dinner to looking absolutely fabulous. That's what the perfect chicken should look like. And yeah, our chickens here are not yet at that perfect chicken state of being, and they may never be. They had a pretty rough go, and things are completely different now. But they do seem to be adjusting fairly well, and they do look a lot more comfortable and a lot healthier. So I thought today at the 8-week mark, we would just take a look and see how they're doing. So yeah, without too much more babbling from this side of things, I'm gonna grab the camera. Let's check out some chickens. Let's start off with one of the 2 whites. Both of these are referred to as Betty. This one is Betty White, with Betty Poop up on the top of the pile here. And so far they're holding true to those reasons. Betty White here is a much cleaner bird in general, and her feathers have really done a fabulous job of coming back and getting nice and clean. When she came to live with us, well, when both of these girls came to live with us, they were very roughed up around the neck, like you can sort of still see on Betty Poop here. I don't know if she's going to turn back and face the camera or not. And they were very flat in the tail, like there didn't seem to be much of anything poking up that I can remember. And now look at that, eh? Betty White over there. She's looking much, much closer to your proper picture of a hen. Not quite there yet. Doesn't like being the center of attention, but looking much, much better. Tail feathers are growing back in, feathers around her vent are growing back in, so that is all very good. Betty Poop here, still on the dirtier side, but in real life, and hopefully on larger screens looking at this through the video, you'll be able to see that she's got a lot of whiter, nicer, cleaner, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, more pristine perhaps, feathers coming back in. Oh, chill Bunty, we'll get to you. These ridiculously oversized combs still very much amuse me, and I am quite worried about those as we're going through the winter. But aside from some color change on them, I'm not seeing too much of a difference. And I'm wondering how much color change could have to do with diet. These girls have been eating like they were just starved for their whole lives, which I know isn't the case. The gentleman I got them from is a very reasonable individual and wouldn't do anything intentionally, knowingly wrong to any animal, I don't think. It's just, we raise chickens different is all. So anyway, here's the one we call Bunty. She has always been the best looking of the group with the most of her feathers, therefore she's probably the aggressor in all of this. But even still, looking at her, how she just squats right down as soon as you come near. Even looking at Bunty though, we can see that her tail feathers are coming back in. I hadn't realized that hers were that absent. But I mean, she's got some good width to her. She's got little tiny wings, and she doesn't like me playing with them much. But her wings are just so tiny. I think I now know why she doesn't roost, because she has no faith at all in her ability to glide on those things. But all in all, her red from her wattles and comb seems to be a little bit darker than I initially recall. And as I said, yeah, her tail feathers are coming in. She has continued to lay for us each and every day, very, very consistent. She is our quote-unquote a rock star hen. But voted most recovered is this one back here. We call her Patches. Now, I'm going to have to get her, and that is going to be an interesting thing because she is still pretty sketchy about the whole human contact thing. Bunty, on the other hand, she don't care. She'll squat, take a pet, and it's all good. This one here is going to be my falcon chicken. I'll have her on my arm one day, I'm sure. Anyway, I'll try and get Patches out of the corner. Alright, so we've got Patches out from her corner at the moment. She is still pretty sketchy. I mean, in many ways, she is the bravest of these chickens because, like, very few things will stop her from eating. When she's head into that bowl, that's it. That's all there is to it. But, Patches, I want to show people how much better you look, sweetie. Oh, yeah, I know. Why don't you just squat down? Do the Bunty. No, you're back in the corner again. Alrighty. So, yeah, I got Patches out again here. Bunty is like little security chicken. She's always up in people's faces. If anybody's getting stressed, Bunty is there. Patches, please stop. I want to show people... Oh, yes, I know. Nicely done. Anyway, see if we can zoom then. No, and around the corner. Jeez, these chickens. Alright, so I'm trying to climb on top of the compost pile here so we can take a look at Patches. The Betties are all in my face. Anywho, comparing this to the earliest clip we had of her, you can see her back feathers are growing in quite nicely. Her wing feathers are growing in quite nicely. And she seems to be a much darker brown than Bunty. What I'm most impressed by is how well those wing feathers are growing back in. She just looks so much healthier and so much happier. Still not seeing an egg from her on a regular basis. Actually haven't seen one in quite some time. But she is looking healthier. So as she gets more and more feather covering, as I understand it, she'll be more likely to get back to laying for us. But it's also like very flipping cold outside. So I'm amazed that even Bunty is still putting out. These chickens represent the only heat that they have in their coop. So between them, I guess they're about 40 watts of heat. Not bad, not bad. Wouldn't mind throwing a few extra bodies in the mix, but gotta see what we can get away with for now. I have switched back to just using the feeder as a regular feeder, but that'll be a topic for another video. Get into that soon, though. But all in all, our little $5 hens seem to be adapting really, really well. And even though it's only been 2 months, they seem to have adjusted to things around here pretty darn well. Biggest concern being Bunty here, who seems quite interested in the world outside her coop. But we have a little harness that we used to use on the cat when he was a kitten. So I'm wondering, you know, will she sit still long enough to put her in a harness on either side of her wing? Can I take this chicken for a walk? That's a terrible idea, I'm sure. But, anywho, just thought we'd do a 2-month checkup on the ladies. Show you all how they're doing. And I should probably wrap it up from here because my fingertips is getting real cold. And the camera likes to die when the temps are this low. So thank you all for joining me. And I'll see you next time here on Bear Family Farms.